Hello, my wonderful students. Good morning to you all. How are you doing today? You are welcome to today's class. I'm very much happy to meet you again today. I believe you are all prepared for this morning class. I implore us to avoid distraction as we continue with the class. Get your writing materials and your biro. Let's continue with the class. Remember, my name is Vera Okenye. As usual, we'll be looking into an interesting topic again together, titled Fungi Diseases of Farm Animals. Fungi Diseases of Farm Animals. We have been looking into diseases of farm animals right from the beginning of this class. We have treated bacterial disease of farm animals, where we discussed mastitis and others. We have treated viral diseases of farm animals, and today we are looking into fungi diseases of farm animals. Take note of the topic, fungi diseases of farm animals. Let's look to the objective of the topic. That is what you are expected to know at the end of the topic. At the end of fungi disease of farm animals, you are expected to identify some fungi disease of farm animals. That is 1. 2. Explain the mode of transmission. 3. State the symptoms of the diseases. 4. Outline the ways of prevention, ways of preventing each of the diseases identified. Very important for us to note the objective of the topic, what you are expected to know at the end of the topic. Let's look to the topic proper. Common fungi diseases of farm animals. Meaning we have many diseases of farm animals. We have many fungi diseases of farm animals. We are looking into some common diseases of farm animal caused by fungi. The first one we have here is aspergillosis. This is a fungi disease of farm animal. Aspergillosis is a fungi disease of farm animal. It's a disease caused by fungus called Aspergillus fumigatus. A disease caused by fungus called Aspergillus fumigatus. This is the name of the causal organism of the disease. Let's take note of the causal organism of aspergillosis. It affects all domestic animals and poultry birds. I believe we can still remember or give examples of domestic animals. Animals that are reared at home. Animals that are domesticated at home. They are called domestic animals, like goat. You have cattle, goat, sheep, pig, and others. And poultry birds. At least you can as well give example of poultry birds. We have fowl, we have dog, we have turkey, and so on. These are the animals affected. Some of the animals are infected by aspergillosis. We have cattle here, we have sheep, we have fowl, poultry birds generally. These are animals affected by aspergillosis. The disease attacks the respiratory system of the animals. It affects or attacks the respiratory system of the animal. Respiratory system. I believe we know what respiratory system is, which aid breathing. Breathing, the means of respiration. So the disease affects the respiratory system of the animals, of the domestic animals that it attacks. Let's take note of that. The part of the animals aspergillosis affects is the respiratory system. Mode of transmission. How is the disease transmitted from healthy animals to from sick animals to healthy animals? 1. We have through airborne spores. The spores fall on the wound of the animals. When the spores fall on the wound of the animals, the animal thereafter is affected by the disease, will be affected by diseases. Then let's see contaminated incubator. Contaminated incubator. Whatever that is being used in incubating the animals, when it is being contaminated by this aspergillosis, when healthy animals come in contact with this incubator, they are as well infected by the disease. Then the next one is inhalation and ingestion of contaminated feeds. When the feed given to the animal, the feed given to the animals is being contaminated, then the healthy animals can be affected. When sick animals or animals affected by aspergillosis feed on a particular food, and healthy animals come in contact with it, inhale from it, or they are being injected into their body system, such healthy animal can as well be infected by aspergillosis. Let's see the symptoms. How would a farmer know that his or her animal has been infected by aspergillosis? How would the farmer know? 1. Respiratory tract infection. We have respiratory tract infection in poultry birds. That's the first one. Respiratory tract infection of the poultry bird. The birds find it difficult to breathe. The birds will find it difficult to breathe. This is a good example of it. You see this fowl, a bird, a poultry bird, the respiratory tract, you see the system, the way it is running. You see the way it's running shows that this animal has been affected by aspergillosis. The animal is unable to breathe properly. The animal is unable to breathe properly. Let's take note of that. The respiratory tract of the animal is usually infected or affected. Okay, let's see this particular one. You discover that the animal opened the mouth. This bird is unable to close the mouth. Even human being, when a man is affected by any disease or is affected by any disease that is unable to breathe, that is having respiratory problem, you see the person opening his mouth. Specifically, let's say, for example, catarrh. When you are having catarrh, you constantly open your mouth because breathing is usually difficult at that instant. You see this fowl opening his mouth because he's unable to breathe constantly. So a farmer can identify that his poultry bird has been affected by aspergillosis when the bird is unable to cover the mouth. The bird is unable to breathe because they cannot tell you that they have been affected by this disease. You notice it, you look at them very well, and you'll be able to identify that a poultry bird has been affected by aspergillosis. Difficulty in breathing. Secondly, we have abduction in cattle. You look at this cattle very well. You see the young fetus coming down already on the ground. This is the fetus. Abduction in dairy cattle or generally cattle. You see the fetus coming down already. There will be abduction in cattle. The fetus come down when it is not time for delivery. There is not exact time for the animals to give back to the young one, but the fetus come down automatically, unplanned. So abduction in cattle, when the animals are pregnant and the farmer notices that it is not exact program time for the animals to give birth and the fetus comes out, then the farmer should suspect aspergillosis. Aspergillosis in cattle can lead to abduction in cattle. Let's take note of that. Then we have loss of appetite. Loss of appetite. Loss of appetite and emaciation. Loss of appetite when the animals are unable to feed well. The animals are unable to feed well can lead to emaciation, as in this animal. You can see this cattle, because it's unable to feed well, gradually emaciating in this place, and it has led to the animals being so thin that even the color can change. Whatever that concerns the animals will be affected. The animal will be so thin and dried, emaciated, even in human being. A human that is affected by a particular disease, when he's unable to feed well, unable to eat for a while, can lead to emaciation. So loss of appetite brings about emaciation in animal, and that is caused by aspergillosis. Let's take note of that. We have loss of weight. The animal definitely will lose weight. Loss of weight and skin irritation. Loss of weight and skin irritation. Look at this particular animal. The two animals here, cattle. If you notice that the animal skin is not smooth as it is supposed to be, the animal skin has been affected. It's irritating. Skin irritation is a sign or a symptom of aspergillosis. So the farmer has to notice the animal when the animals are having issues with their skin, meaning the animal has been affected by a particular disease called aspergillosis. Then we have treatment. How would you treat these animals affected by aspergillosis? One is administration of drugs containing sulfur. There are some drugs that contain sulfur. These animals are given this drug that contain sulfur. The farmer should always endeavor to take the animals to a veterinary officer, a veterinary doctor, and the doctor will identify the kind of sickness. If it is aspergillosis, then the farmer will administer drugs containing sulfur. There are many drugs that contain sulfur which the veterinary officer will be able to identify the particular one suitable for such animal at that particular time, depending on when the farmer reports the case to the doctor. Remember, when the malaria starts affecting the child, at the early stage, you use mild drugs to treat it. But when it is chronic, you use drugs that are higher, a very strong antimalarial drugs rather, to treat such. So in animals, at the beginning, at the early stage, the doctor will use drugs containing sulfur at a lower rate to treat the animals. But when it is chronic, the doctor will as well know the particular drug suitable for such case. Okay, let's see the prevention of this disease, aspergillosis. The prevention of this is one. You have avoidance of litters and feed, avoidance of moldy, you avoid moldy litter and fields that are moldy, fields that are not suitable for these animals should be avoided. You identify a particular field that is good for these animals to feed them, rather than giving them fields that will affect them. Moldy litters and field. Then you avoid overcrowding. Overcrowding of the animals should be prevented. Overcrowding of these animals should be prevented. Remember, in last class, I showed us a farmer that crowded his animal in one place. When animals are crowded in one place, what do you think can happen? When one of the animals are infected by a particular disease, such animal can transmit it to another animal. Other animals can easily contact it, mainly when it is contagious disease. Don't forget what contagious disease is, which we have discussed before. When it's a contagious disease, it can easily be transmitted from the sick animal to another when the farmer crowd his animals. So avoid overcrowding of your animals in order to prevent aspergillosis. Then good sanitation measure. Good sanitation measure. You endeavor to keep your animals in an environment that is clean. A neat environment will help to prevent aspergillosis. It's very important. Every individual likes to stay in a clean place, not in a stinking and smelly place. When animals are in a stinking, smelling places, they can easily contract disease. When they are infected, other animals can easily be infected. A particular animal infected when it's in a dirty environment can get the environment infected, which will transmit to other animals. So good sanitation measure, you clean the environment where the animals are kept, is very important for every animal. Let's take note of that. Then you spray with fungicide. Spray with what? Fungicide. Fungicide is very good for treating aspergillosis because it's a fungi disease. Because it is a fungi disease. Take note of that. It is a fungi disease. Then you spray the animals or the environment where the animals are kept with fungicide. Endeavor to spray the environment where the animals are kept with fungicide. This will help to prevent the transmission of aspergillosis. Let's take note of that. Let's quickly take up this classwork. Mention 5 domestic animals you know. Mention 5 domestic animals you know. I'll give us a minute to quickly answer this question. 5 domestic animals you know. All right, domestic animals. I believe you have all written it. You have goats, you have cattle, you have pig, you have poultry birds of different kind. Poultry birds of different kind. You should be able to identify them. I know you have written them. I know you have written it, so you can mark even as I mentioned. All right, don't forget from where we started from. Fungi diseases of farm animals. We have identified one. Remember the objective. Don't forget you are to identify some fungi disease of farm animal, which we have identified one, aspergillosis. That's one. And the causal organism, the mode of transmission, the symptoms of aspergillosis, the treatment and prevention. Let's look to another one called ringworm. Ringworm is a fungi disease as well that affects or attacks animals like cattle, goat, sheep, pig, rabbit, even human beings. Ringworm affects human beings, not only animals. Ringworm doesn't affect only animals. It doesn't attack only animals. It as well affects human beings. Children, not only children, can even affect adults when adults and that are not keeping good sanitary measure can be affected by ringworm. Take note of that. These are the animals as well affected. Rabbit. You see rabbit, see sheep, see cattle. These are the animals affected by ringworm. Causal organism of ringworm. It is caused by a group of fungi called microspore species, trichophyton species, and lophophyton species. These are the 3 causal organisms of fungi disease called ringworm. Microspore species, trichophyton species, and lophophyton species. These are the 3 causal organisms of ringworm as a fungi disease. Let's take note of this causal organism. Mode of transmission. How is it transmitted from the sick animal to the healthy animals? 1. Contact with infected part of infected animals. Contact with infected parts of infected animals. Meaning is a contagious disease as well. We have been making reference to contagious disease. Disease transmitted by direct contact from infected animals to healthy animals. So when this ringworm affects animals, then healthy animals come in contact with it, with that particular point, that particular part, then the healthy animals as well infected by this disease. Contact with infected part of infected animals. Then we have toothbrushes, towel, if it's man, remember we said it can as well affect human being, toothbrushes, towel, and other utensils. Whatever you are using in your home, take for example, you are using brush together to brush your teeth or to brush your hair, to brush your hair precisely, to towel to clean your body, you are using the same wrapper, you wear the same clothes, and when one person from the family is affected, there is every probability that everyone using such towel or clothes will be as well infected. So let's take note of that. It's very important that in a home you use different towel, you use different brush, you use everything, different clothes. It shouldn't be the same to avoid the spread of a disease transmitted by fungi called ringworm. Let's take note of that. It's very important, the mode of transmission. Symptoms, how would you know? that an animal or man has been affected by ringworm. Symptoms: 1. You see ring-shaped patches on the surface of the skin. Ring-shaped patches on the surface of the skin. Just like this animal, as you can see, different patches. Look at it. You have different patches, right? In a ring form, you see, in a ring form, ring-shaped patches. Ring-shaped patches, you see, dotted. Is in a ring shape, dotted. You can see. So, when you discover that animals are having these ring-shaped patches on their skin, in conclusion, such animal has been affected or has been infected by a ringworm. Take note of that. Such animal has been infected by ringworm. Even man, human being, you see the hair of the child. If it's a child, the hair will be pulled off. You discover that there will be rashes on the skin, ring-shaped rashes on the skin of the child. Then you conclude that such child has been infected by a ringworm disease. It's a fungal disease. Ringworm is a fungal disease. Then loss of weight. It can lead to loss of weight. A child infected by ringworm can lose weight. Animals infected by ringworm can as well be affected by loss of weight. Let's see the next one. Loss of hair. Loss of hair. You discover that the hair in the animal's body will be pulled off, generally pulled off, or different patches on the hair. You discover that there will be hair in one part and the other part will be scraped off, right? The animal is infected by ringworm. Even in man, you discover that around the hair region, one part of the hair of the child will be affected, will be scraped off, while the other parts will be normal. So the child has been infected by ringworm. Ringworm pulled off the hair in the animals infected. Let's take note of that. Then we have reduction in the quality of hides and skin. Reduction in the quality of hides and skin, because it has eaten off the skin of the animals. Take for example, this is an animal infected by ringworm, and you discover that the hair of the animal is totally pulled off. Then after eating off the hair in the animal, it enters the skin. The skin irritation, which we have first discussed, the skin is eaten off as well, right? So this hides and skin is thereby reduced because of this ringworm has eaten off the skin of the animals. Remember, eyes and skin is one of the byproducts of animals, right? What you get from animals, you have eyes and skin. They provide eyes and skin, right, for man. So these eyes and skin will be in limited quantity, even in quality, when animals are affected by ringworm. Treatment. How would you treat this disease if it is noticeable? 1. Scraping of the infected part with blade. You scrape the infected part of the animal with blade and add iodine. Make use of iodine and apply sulfur drugs, e.g. penicillin, for some days. Take for example, it could be within the period of 1 week, within the period of 7 to 8 days. So when it's applied on the infected parts, then the treatment is being taken place. There will be gradual recovering of this part. The hair will start growing. It is mainly noticeable on the skin of the animals. Mainly noticeable on the skin of the animals. The hair will be pulled off. It will gradually eat off the hair, and you see the hair will be scraped off, and the skin of the animals will be irritating. These are the two main symptoms of this disease called ringworm. So you scrape the infected parts. When you scrape off the infected part with blade and iodine, and apply sulfur drugs like penicillin for some days. So when it's applied, gradually the hair will start coming back. Then prevention. If you don't want this disease to attack your animals, 1. You practice cleanliness and good sanitation. Animals' environment should be properly clean. You can bathe your children regularly. Bathe kills regularly. Even you as an adult can as well bathe regularly, because it can affect man. wash their hair very well. You can bathe the animals as well. You clean your animals, clean their environment very well. When their environments are properly cleaned, it can easily prevent the spread of this disease. Then you disinfect all pens and equipment. Whatever that is being used for them should always be disinfected. Is that taken? I believe you are all following preventive measure. You discover that in all these diseases, cleanliness and good sanitation is always an important means of preventing the spread of any disease. Take note of that. Then isolation as well. You can isolate infected animals. You can as well isolate infected animals to prevent it from spreading to other animals. Then other fungi diseases, farm animal heart water disease and red water disease. Take note of that. Very important. We have come to the end of this class of fungi diseases of farm animal. Let's take up the assignment. Very important. Take up the assignment for this class. Discuss heart water disease of farm animals under the following: animals infected, causal organism, mode of transmission, symptoms, prevention and control. Animals infected, causal organism, mode of transmission, prevention and control. Take note of it. Very important. Very, very important. You can read further. Pick up your textbook, Essentials of Agricultural Science. You can pick up Essentials of Agricultural Science to read. And you'll be able to read vividly about fungi diseases of farm animal. You can go online as well, Google. When you Google fungi disease of farm animal, you'll be able to read vividly on it. Alright, your response should be on word processing. And as well, send your response or your answer to the email below, vera.okenye@greenlandhall.org. vera.okenye@greenlandhall.org. Take note of that. Is that taken? Please take note of the email. Very important for you to send your response. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. I remain Vera Okenye. Bye and see you next week.